Hey, what's going on guys? It's Johnny and welcome to another Genshin Impact video! In today's video, let's have a discussion on the topic of weekly bosses, because when it comes to weekly bosses, there's an issue that's kind of coming up, and if left alone, then players will have to make a tough decision. In which case, MiHoYo, or rather Hoyoverse, should change it. Before we do jump into it guys, if you do like the video, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. This will greatly help our channel to grow and help with the YouTube algorithm and recommend the video to other viewers. Now without any further ado, let's jump right into it. With the release of version 2.5, we received 2 character chapter quests for Yamiko and Raiden Shogun. In Raiden Shogun's new quest though, there was a new weekly boss introduced as well. Personally, I really enjoyed this new weekly boss, which enabled us to fight the Raiden Shogun herself and expand on A's story, which is something I'm always a fan of. The battle was very epic as it raged on for 500 years. And we got to see the Shogun in her ultimate form? But this does bring the total number of weekly bosses to 6. You might have guessed it, but that's a lot of weekly bosses. The issue itself isn't the amount of weekly bosses, because hey, the more the merrier, right? But rather, the amount of resin required. It really just hit me last week, and this week after reset, and I had to do my weekly bosses, which took almost 2 full days to complete. Okay, to be exact, it took 270 resin. In Genshin, players receive 3 opportunities to claim weekly bosses for 50% off, which adds up to 90 resin. The 3 remaining bosses will consume the normal amount, which will be 180 resin total, and could turn out to be a bigger problem in the future depending on the quantity of bosses. Now, granted, the rewards are pretty good, even for the full cost at 60, because you are guaranteed 1 gold artifact, depending on your world level, and if you're lucky, an extra one between Wanderers and Gladiators. As it stands, the only way to get these 2 artifact types are either through the Spiral Abyss, which players will need to continuously clear, Mystic Offering, which I would be careful on unless you're sitting on a bunch of gold artifacts because it eats up your resources in a blink of an eye. We also have a video on the dangers of Mystic Offering and how you should generally prioritize which artifacts to use to min-max experience and more. So if you guys are low on either of those, go check it out because it might help you out. And the last method, world or weekly bosses, which just consumes resin. At world level 8, a world boss will drop 1 gold artifact most times. Unless you're lucky again, you won't generally see 2. If you want 2 guaranteed gold artifacts, you'll need to run the boss twice, consuming 80 resin, which is kind of pricey for 2 artifacts. Additionally, you of course get the weekly boss drop for the corresponding boss as well, which help towards gearing up characters. But if you're a player that's been playing since launch or for an extended period of time, you'll probably have farmed up so much that there's a bunch of boss materials sitting in inventory. At least for all the bosses. If you don't need Wanderers or Gladiators or even certain boss drops, then this could slow down your path to progress towards endgame farming, like ley lines, weapon materials, talent books, or even artifacts. Unless you're a new player, you'll most likely be farming old weekly bosses for prototypes in hopes of Hoyoverse releasing more prototype weapons in the future. With the addition of Inazuma, new sets were introduced. Currently, each region has 1 set of prototypes. This means we can expect the new set when Sumeru, Natlan, Fontaine, and Sheshnaya are released. The main way to get prototypes is through weekly bosses, and because of their low rates, players feel obligated to do them each week and stock up. But again, because there are so many though, players might have to end up making a choice between which weekly bosses to do. The decision will come down to whether individual accounts hold certain characters and how many boss drops they have or already own. As more weekly bosses get added in the future, this will become more apparent, and eventually, players might have to say goodbye to development. Resin is an important resource throughout your journey and is what enables you to do, well, basically everything that isn't exploring. Anything related to gearing up will cost resin. To not put players in a difficult position with a difficult decision, I really hope Hoyoverse does something to allow players to do all the weekly bosses at an affordable rate as we receive more. With the current system reducing the cost of 3 weekly bosses to half, this was a good first step, and I really liked it and hope to see this number go up. What do you guys think about weekly bosses though? Do you think Hoyoverse will increase the number of reduced resin costs for weekly bosses as we receive more? Also, have you been doing all of them or choosing specific ones? Personally, I've still been doing all of them, mainly to stock up on prototypes. I'm curious to see what you guys think, so do tell in the comment section below. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to also turn that notification bell so you don't miss out on any newly released videos. I've been Johnny D, and until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next one.